Billy Joe Saunders, shake my head, bro, and the biggest prospects in American boxing are on this weekend. Please like and subscribe. We need your help in getting to 10,000 subscribers. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. But remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Welcome to another episode of Friday's Check Hook. Billy Joe Saunders is a drug cheat, plus the two brightest young prospects take the stage tonight. First, let's start with Billy Joe. Unbelievable. Nailed with exolifrine. Am I saying that right? Exolifrin? Obviously, I just searched this on Wikipedia, so obviously I'm an expert on it now. I'll read to you what it is real quick. It's a stimulant that acts similarly to an amphetamine, but has never been approved for consumption in the U.S. The drug was synthesized by European scientists in the 1930s to help treat low blood pressure. Also referred to as methylsulfurin. It works by stimulating the heart and increasing the blood pressure. So it's a stimulant. It's considered unsafe for use in the USA. It's also banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency. So it's a stimulant. It's an artificial an artificial amphetamine. It's like a methamphetamine, but probably with a couple chemicals different. He got nailed with it. So this is Billy Joe Saunders, who we love Billy Joe Saunders at 3D Boxing. We've been singing his praise for years now. We've been calling him the best middleweight in the sport. Okay? I'm a fan of Billy Joe. I'm entertained by Billy Joe. I think his skill set is unique. I think he's a really good middleweight. I love his skills. I love the way he uses his physical strength, his positioning. I like Billy Joe Saunders. That being said, I'm going to treat him the same way I treated Canelo, which is as a drug cheat, because that's what he is. And he came out hardcore after Canelo, saying he should be banned for life. He shouldn't be allowed to fight again. He's disrespecting the sport. It's disgraceful. How could he cheat like that? Look, Billy Joe, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that when you're cheating yourself, right? Like, look, if you're clean, still don't do that. And I agree, right? Like, this is boxing. This is the hurt business. If you're taking something that's going to increase your speed and strength and endurance so that you can hurt people and knock them out, there's a problem here. You shouldn't be allowed in this sport. Tony Bellew came out and said that you should be charged if you test positive after the fight and you kill someone in the ring. You should be charged with manslaughter. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Like, this is not baseball. This is not hitting home runs. The impact of the sport can last a lifetime, right? So I agree with Billy Joe that this is a major no-no. But he was guilty of it too. So it's like, how are you going off on Canelo when you can get busted for this too, right? Which he did. Look, he's going to say this supplement, exolifrin, can be found in 14 other supplements. So he's going to say that he didn't know he was taking it and that it was in something else. It's not approved by the FDA or USADA or WADA, but it's not a banned substance for purchase. Like, you can buy it, but you just can't take it if you want to fight under these sanctioning bodies. So he's going to say he took something else and that was in it, and that it's not his fault and this and that and the third. It's your fault, bro. Like, it's your fault. You have to know what you're taking. You're being paid millions of dollars to know what you're taking. Right? Like, I'm on a ketogenic diet. I make sure there's no sugar, no artificial flavors in anything that I eat. I make sure of it, and I'm not being paid millions of dollars. My livelihood doesn't depend on it. Yours does. You have to know what you're taking. Look, think of it this way. If you drank from the punch bowl, and the punch bowl was spiked, and you get in your car and drive home, and you tell the cop, but I didn't know I didn't know the punch was spiked. I didn't know what I was drinking. Is he going to care? Is he going to let you go home? Or are you getting a DWI? I mean, he's not going to let you drive home scot-free because, you say you didn't know what was in the punch. You have to know what's in it. It's your responsibility to know in it, right? And this, blows my mind. People take these things for a reason, because it works. They're performance-enhancing drugs. They're banned for a reason, right? So all of a sudden, and this is apparently used to increase endurance. So you get this boost of energy, your workouts are stronger, longer, you feel better at the end, you recoup quicker, and you don't know like why that happened all of a sudden. Like think of it this way. If you bench 185, and tomorrow you go to the gym, you bench 250, you're not gonna like, that's not gonna dawn on you like, why did this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, Billy Joe is 30 years old, I think, about to turn 30. He's a full-grown man. You don't just get bigger and stronger and more endurance at 30 years old. So you knew something. You knew what you were doing. That's why I can't ever buy this excuse. You hear the same excuse over and over again. Oh, I didn't know what I take. Well, you have to know what you take. That's not an excuse. And they say, look, people take this. It's banned for a reason. It's because it gives you an unfair advantage. So you're doing workouts every day, and all of a sudden you get the sudden spike in energy and endurance. And you don't know why? Right? Like, it's basically a methamphetamine. A methamphetamine is what you give to kids who can't concentrate in school because it keeps them up, it keeps them awake, it keeps them going. This is obviously something he took on purpose, right? It was like just like the clenbuterol oral with Canelo. It's like you took a drug that fixes your exact problem, right? Like you had problems making weight, you had problems with your gas tank. So you took a drug that allows you to lean up and increases your endurance, allows you to breathe easier. Come on. And he said, I got it from meat. It's like, come on, man. Nobody buys that. Billy Joe went all in on Canelo. And I didn't blame him for doing that. I don't think you should throw your brothers under the bus, but this is serious stuff. Saying all types of things. Don't do that when you're cheating. Seriously, don't do that. Just like Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Rafael Palmeiro, and Alex Rodriguez did in baseball. All of them went in and said, oh, this is horrible, this is awful, and then they got busted. So, I mean, this is a joke. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't be stupid. This drug has been used in cycling. A female rider who won the Tour de France tested positive for this. It was used in track. You guys remember Tyson Gay, the American sprinter, tested positive for this. And then recently a Boston Red Sox pitcher also tested positive for this. So this is something that's fairly common. It obviously works if people, in 3 or 4 different sports like I just named are using this. It works. They're using it for a reason. You can't tell me all these people just took it by accident and got this sudden burst of endurance and thought it was because they were eating their spinach. Come on. This is obviously a pretty good drug, and people took it for a reason. Like, Billy Joe took this, knowing he's not allowed to take it, and knowing that his career, his reputation, his world title, all that hangs in the balance if he gets caught. And he still thought the juice was worth the squeeze. He's still going to take this. Okay, you got it. That's how good it is. That's how important this drug is. That he's willing to risk it all to take it. And then they say, oh, it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. That's ridiculous. He took it on purpose. Neglect is not an accident either. But like I said, we've been fans of Billy Joe. We've been Billy Joe's biggest supporter. We've been called Billy Joe fanboys. Well, I guess you can throw that down, throw that down the toilet now, because we're being honest. We call it like it is. Yes, I love Billy Joe's skill. I think he's an excellent boxer. I did think that he was the best middleweight. I said that he would beat Canelo and he'd beat Triple G. Now that all goes out the window, and now we have to see him rebuild. Now we have to see what he looks like without the steroids. And we said this about Canelo. Canelo faded in every single fight except for the first Triple G fight, where he won the fight by winning the last 3 rounds. In every other fight, he fades late. That was the fight before he got nailed. And then he got nailed with the clenbuterol, which helps your endurance, helps you breathe easier. And then he lost the last 3 rounds to Triple G or so on most scorecards, which allowed Triple G back in the fight. So he faded late. The only fight he didn't was the one before that, where he was probably on clenbuterol. So this stuff obviously works. But getting on to the bright news, getting on to the good news. Also, fighting, and this is a busy, busy weekend. Fighting this weekend, the 2 brightest stars in 3D boxing's humble estimation. Devin Haney and Josh Greer Jr. both taking major step-up fights. Let's start with Devin Haney. I really, really like this guy. He's an offensive juggernaut. Power in both hands. Really, really good skill set. really fun offensive fighter. Good speed, good power, excellent skills. He's set to take on Juan Carlos Burgos in a lightweight fight. Burgos seems like he's 100 years old, doesn't he? He's only 30. I looked him up on BoxRec. He's only 30. I thought he was 37. He's been in the ring with Mikey Garcia, Rocky Martinez. He's got a win over Cristobal Cruz, Hashagawa. He's been in the ring with a lot of good fighters. So this will be a good challenge. It's obviously something Devin has to win and he has to look good in. But if Haney goes out there and he dominates and he puts on a show, it's his second straight step-up fight. If you go back to May when he destroyed Mason Menard in Philly, the 2300 arena, I think he's ready for a world title fight, even though he's only 19. Or I guess he'd be 20 then, I think. Right? He's fought most of his career between 130 and 135 catchweights. This is at 135. But if you look at his fights, most of the time he's fighting 132, 133 catchweights. I don't know if he can get down to 130 because he is a kid. His body's getting bigger. And I'm not asking for this fight right now, but him and Tank Davis are obviously on a collision course. And when Devin Haney gets there, when he's physically mature and ready, this fight will probably be at 35. But him and Tank, can you imagine when both guys are in their absolute peak, those two fight? I mean, I hope you get that fight 3 times. I really do. I'm really into this fight. Just think about, look, we saw Ryan Garcia a few weeks back on that Facebook thing, right? On that Facebook Live fight. Go watch Devin Haney today. And all due respect to Ryan Garcia, even though I don't think he's very good or anything special. Do you know what Devin Haney would do to Ryan Garcia? Like, be serious. Devin Haney would absolutely wipe the floor with Ryan Garcia. All due respect to Golden Boy's next Golden Boy. Ryan Garcia can make a lot of money, so good for him. And the other thing I really like about Devin Haney is he's his own promoter. And he runs that with his father. As a boxer, a boxing enthusiast, an entrepreneur, and a father of 3, including 2 boys, I love seeing that father-son bond. I really have an affinity for that. So I pray for their success and I really want to see them succeed in the ring, in the business world, and most important, as a family. I'd love to see them stick together and run that as a family and have father and son guide Devin all the way to the top of the boxing world, which he certainly has the talent to do. Moving on to the other prospect, don't blink, 3D Boxing's 2017 Prospect of the Year. I know many of y'all don't get into the smaller weight classes, but this bantamweight is special. Josh Greer Jr. from Chicago, the guy that brings the pillow to the ring, don't blink. The speed and athleticism and punching power and work rate on Greer is nuts. This is my favorite young fighter from an entertainment standpoint. He's defensively solid, but he relies on his athleticism a bit too much to avoid shots, right? Like, his defense isn't picture perfect, but he's athletic enough with his head movement and his feet where he can avoid shots. He had the knockout of the year against James Smith back in 2017. I mean, it might be one of the best knockouts I've ever seen. His power is real. Despite only having 9 knockouts, the punching power is real. I don't know if it's just a matter of learning how to sit down and deliver them from the right angles and when to load up, but that power is real, and you guys can check him out. I mean, the athleticism and the hand speed, this kid's legit. And then that work rate, his work rate does not stop. I interviewed him last year after he fought in Iowa on a Roy Jones Jr. promotion card, and he said he can keep that work rate up for 12 rounds. He says he spars at that rate, and he's conditioned himself to fight with that work rate. Because I asked him, when you step up to 10 and 12 round fights, are you going to have to slow that down a little bit? Can you still throw 80, 90 punches around for 12 rounds? He said that's what he trains for. He said he always throws that many punches. So this kid is a really entertaining and really gifted fighter. If you don't get into the smaller weight classes, if that's not your thing, just check this guy out. He's fighting on the ESPN Plus card. So if you have the app, check him out. If you don't, take the free subscription and watch this kid, Josh Greer Jr. If you aren't familiar with him, you should be. Again, he's a uniquely talented 118-pounder, and I know that it's going to be a little bit tough for him to get a title fight because of the way that division's shaken out with everyone fighting in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. And I want him to stay at 118 because I want to stay there as long as possible because with his speed and power, he can really do damage there. It's a loaded division. He can get lots of big fights. So I don't know when a world title shot would open up for him. But I think, pending what we see today, I think he's certainly ready. He was our prospect of the year in 2017. I know a lot of people shrug their shoulders, and now they're not shrugging anymore. They're starting to catch on to Don't Blink. So check that out. Let us know what you think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. For Friday's Check Hook, this is 3D Boxing signing off, saying thank you and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.